Yeah, it's all of it. So what I talk about is not working on the business instead of in the business. You work on the people in your business so they build the business for you. So for me, it's developing your most valuable asset, your most valuable resource in any business is your people. So develop your people and then they do everything else takes care of itself and they develop the business for you. Yeah, I love Zig Ziglar. He had a lot of stuff. That was one. The other one is the stinking thinking, right? So it goes back to mindset. You know, Zig always talked about get rid of that stinking thinking. You know, you need a checkup from the neck up. You know, he's awesome. If y'all haven't, whoever's listening, if you don't know Zig Ziglar, you need to go listen to Zig Ziglar and read his books. He's awesome. But one of the things you hit on, military. So the military is all about systems. So you said systems for training. They're all about systems, period. So what I learned from the military, number one, was systems, you know, standard operating procedures, redundancy, you know, preventative maintenance, you know, so we had all these systems in the military that, you know, from the chain of command, now that was a top down system. And, you know, in corporate America, it's a bottom up system. You lead from the bottom by serving the organization because the leader has to give the organization everything they need to be successful. In the military, the orders come down from the top, but our systems are bottom up. So that taught me discipline, execution, systems, you know, things like that. Vision is one thing. Ideas are one thing, execution is everything. So it all boils down to execution and you need those systems, those redundancies and the discipline to execute on the vision, on the idea. Yeah, anything, lose weight, whatever, change your life in any way, it takes action. So, you know, I'm just one of those guys, you know, I'm a doer. So if there's an idea, like if you and I are talking about this idea and we want to create this app and it sounds great and we know it'll work, you know, people do that, right? They get all excited. They talk about, they have this idea or like, you know, maybe we want to lose weight. You're overweight. I'm overweight. You know, we're drinkers, whatever. And we're sitting in the bar and we're like, you know what? We need to quit this. We need to get in shape, man. It would be great if I could fit in those clothes. You get all excited, but then you go home and you go back to the bar the next day and you don't do anything about it, or you have this great idea and you go home, you go to bed, you wake up, you're, that was stupid, that'll never work. The difference is I go out and I do it. So if you and I have this idea, I'm like, let's go. Next thing you know, we're putting the business plan down. Next thing you know, we're filing an LLC, we're setting up a bank account, we're going out, we're finding developers, you know, app developers, you know, so I mean, that's literally what it is. So a business plan, you know, a lot of people get caught up in that. Oh, I got to create this business plan. It has to be all these different, you know, pages. Business plan is one page. What's your idea? What's your market? How are you going to implement it? How are you going to execute it? And then, you know, you just go. I mean, it's really simple. You do a one-page executive summary of the idea. It needs to be easily understood for most businesses. Now, there are some businesses that are a lot more complicated, obviously, but the nature of a business is very simple. It's the idea, the, you know, faith in it, and the means to implement it. You know, that's how success proceeds. So the biggest difference is just believing, knowing that I can do it, knowing that no matter what, you know, I can do it, I can take the action and get it done. And then, you know, going out and taking action. And, you know, it's funny, I was at the Darden School of Business when they launched their incubator lab for entrepreneurs. And, you know, this is one of the top business schools in the country, MBA program. And, you know, I was there, you know, doing some things and they were talking to me about my background. They're like, well, how did you start 12 different companies? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? They're like, well, how do you start 12 different companies? You know, I said, well, isn't that what you teach here? They said, no, this is where people come and we just support, you know, ideas and this and that. And we don't actually help them start. They've already got a business, you know? And then, so I said, well, starts with the idea. You put it down on paper, you know, what is the concept? Who's your market? How are you going to implement it? How are you going to take action on it? And then you go do it. So literally that's where it starts. You set up the LLC, you open the bank account, and then you do whatever it is you got to do. You go out and get customers, you go out and, you know, make your product, you do whatever. So that's how it starts. And a lot of people get hung up in the big picture. You know, they see this big vision and they're like, I can never get there. Whereas the big vision, you know, Jeff Bezos with Amazon started with one book in an envelope that he packaged and shipped from his garage. And one became two became 10, 10 became 1,000. And then he got a warehouse and then he got, you know, so that's how it happens. You just start. And that's Zig Ziglar. Another one that Zig Ziglar says, you don't have to get it right. You just got to get it going. So that's really it. Just get it going, just get started, but, you know, do it right. You know, have a plan, you know who your market is, make sure that you have an idea that's going to work, and then just do it.